Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. I'm Saeed, your host for Ratchet Politics, and today we're tackling a topic that has moved beyond mere political debate and into the realm of profound national concern. President Trump's recent social media post on Truth Social, where he bizarrely accused former President Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, James Comey, and John Brennan of writing the Epstein files, demands our immediate and serious attention. While the content of those files is certainly murky, what's unequivocally clear is that these individuals did not author them. This assertion on its face is undeniably and incredulously false. Let's engage in a thought experiment just for the sake of argument. Imagine, if you will, that President Trump is completely innocent of any connection to Epstein's horrible child trafficking. Imagine he is absolved of all the felony charges for which he was convicted, and further imagine that all the constitutional violations he engages in daily are magically deemed legal by a hand-picked Supreme Court. Even in this hypothetical scenario, we are left with a fundamental question. When did it become acceptable for a sitting president to make such an undeniably, unbelievably incredulous assertion without facing a profound outcry? We're not talking about mainstream media simply reporting on his posts. We're talking about a demand for accountability that goes far beyond a mere mention. Why are we not unequivocally calling for his resignation? This isn't just about a public figure making a gaffe. This is about a man who holds the nuclear codes, rambling on and on about the Epstein files in a manner that is not only whimsical and unrealistic, but has demonstrably crossed into what can only be viewed as irrational and potentially psychotic behavior. He has, by his own actions and words, effectively demonstrated a profound lack of the type of mental acuity necessary to be in charge of critical national functions such as immigration, the economy, the military, and most terrifyingly, the nuclear arsenal. We are witnessing a mental breakdown by an American president on a scale we have never before encountered. And we no longer have the luxury of merely criticizing Republicans for their complicity. They have shown time and again that they will not stand up to him, even if he were to take actions as extreme as bombing another nation without congressional approval. The responsibility therefore falls squarely upon the American people. And let's not forget that. And to illustrate the gravity of our situation, allow me to share a well-known story that highlights the perilous nature of inaction in the face of destruction, self-destruction. Imagine a grand ship, like a big ship sailing across a vast ocean representing our nation. On the lower deck among the passengers and crew, one individual, for reasons utterly unfathomable to anyone else, begins to drill a hole in the bottom of the boat. The water begins to seep in slowly at first and then with increasing urgency. Those on the upper decks enjoying the voyage might initially dismiss it as a minor leak or perhaps even a quirky eccentricity of the individual is just eccentric. He's eccentric. They might argue amongst themselves about whose responsibility it is to address it or whether the hole is even real. Some might even defend the person drilling the hole, saying this, he has a right to do that, or there's some kind of hidden benefit in letting the water get into the boat. But as the water rises, threatening to capsize the entire vessel, the absurdity of the situation becomes undeniable. The lives of everyone on board are at risk, not just those in the lower deck. The individual drilling the hole isn't just threatening himself. He's jeopardizing the entire journey, the very existence of the ship, and all of its occupants. We as a nation are on that ship. President Trump's increasingly erratic and delusional behavior is the equivalent of drilling holes in the hull. His mental health is not merely in decline, he is openly and unapologetically exhibiting signs of being delusional. To sit idly by hoping for the best is to passively wait for a mentally ill man to destroy our nation and potentially the world. Judging by his brazen contravention of democratic and constitutional principles thus far in his second term, we can only expect the absolute worst. The 25th Amendment exists precisely for situations like this. It allows for the removal of a sitting president if he becomes unfit to effectively serve. We are now, as a nation, in a place that can only be accurately described as passively waiting for the inevitable. The time to take action is not tomorrow or next week. The time is now. We must demand his immediate resignation. Our collective future depends on it. What are your thoughts on this issue, and what actions do you believe the American people should take? Let us know in the comments below.